Plessi talked about fighting Whittaker. And he says, I know it's not smart. He said, if I wanted to be smart, I'd have stayed in school. I take risks. I'm a warrior. This is the path I'm going down. All right. I like that, and I appreciate it. And I got to tell you, and that's a really good fight. That's a really interesting fight. And I'm going to do my best to make you guys care because nobody else is going to. And this is the problem. And this is what is misunderstood week after week, weight class after weight class, alleged contender after alleged contender. This is what's misunderstood, okay? And I wish so badly, because I think about these things, guys. I think, how can I say this different? I'm failing. I'm the professor. I'm teaching this course, but I'm failing somewhere. So I tweak it a little bit, or I rewatch it and I take it down and know that, okay, let's say it this way instead. I just don't know how to get through. And here's what I'm talking about. Okay, this fight, I don't know why we're doing this. I don't agree with it, but I think there's another piece of information that I don't have. So that's why we're getting these guys busy. We're getting these guys tied up and busy because we have something else we want for Izzy. Oh, now see, I didn't even mean to rhyme that. We're getting these guys busy because we got something else planned for Izzy. And Izzy seems to be the denominator that everybody's taking their eye off of. But all of a sudden, Chimaev's dance partner is now busy. And we find out that Paulo Costa, who's supposed to fight Chimaev and fight on, and we find out that Paulo Costa is going to fight a guy that called out Bo Nickel the same night that we find out about a new Australian television deal that's going to kick off in August, and it's going to be headlined by Adesanya. The only meaningful character that is available is Chimaev. That's it. Now, I don't predict for you that it's going to be Chimaev versus Adesanya. As a matter of fact, I strongly predict for you it will not be Chimaev versus Adesanya. That'll be another piece. I think I know what's going to be next for Chimaev. What I'm suggesting for you, as far as what's going to be next for Izzy, is this is something that's being looked at. And when guys want to fight him, right, nobody has done a better job in the history of this organization than Israel Adesanya at determining and steering his own career. Who his opponent's going to be and what's going to be next and roughly when that's going to take place has been completely at the behest of the champion. That's never happened before. Now, it isn't because Adesanya's got some special favoritism. We haven't had anybody who's tried to control it before. We haven't had anybody with a strategy for how to put forward their next opponent and how to build that within the audience. It's never been attempted. He's the one guy that attempts it with a strategy, a very clear strategy, and he goes out and gets his way. Now, guys, if you want to be the one to fight him, right, and I would have predicted for you, and did, that Du Plessis will be the next one for Adesanya. I predicted that because I think history is the greatest trajectory to the future, and Adesanya has called out all of his last five opponents. Last five opponents he's called out. He called out Du Plessis. So I thought number 6, everything's in line, is going to be Du Plessis, and then Du Plessis ends up getting Whittaker. Now, he didn't want to fight Whittaker. This is what was offered. For whatever reason, he's got to go fight him. Now, that's an awesome fight. Awesome. But if I don't come out and tell you that, and I'm only going to be able to do that by quoting Du Plessis, it's Du Plessis and I trying to get you to watch the fight. Robert Whittaker is going to tell nobody. I really like Robert Whittaker. He's going to tell nobody. And it's very important. Whittaker isn't seeing his own career. He's too close to it. He's got an inner circle that's telling him, oh, no, we got this thing handled. No, you don't. Robert Whittaker is the clearest number 1 contender in our sport who doesn't have a world title fight. It's the exact same spot that Colby Covington was just in, except Colby does have the world title fight. And as soon as the opportunity for a world title fight opened up, Colby got it. As soon as an opportunity opened up for Robert Whittaker, they gave it to Alex Pereira. And he's got to be able to stand back and see why. Because if you listen to a Du Plessis interview, he's going to tell you that this is a number 1 contenders fight, and he's going to get a fight for the championship if he gets through Whittaker. But Whittaker's going to tell you the exact same thing. Okay, so we have two guys that both want a job, right? Now, anywhere else in life, you're going to go in and you're going to have a job interview. And you're going to battle it out right there for passion and for ideas. Who wants this the most? Why are you a better choice than them? Everywhere in the world, right now, all around us, as you sit and watch this, as I sit and make this, all around us, that principle is taking place, and people are in battles in the form of a job interview to get a position that they would like. And it's so important as to how you handle that. It is so important that you understand what the employer is looking for in the employee. If you were to change positions, what is it that you would be looking for that person that you're going to elevate? And this would happen all the time. When Vince McMahon, who can control an outcome, thinks about who he's going to put the belt around, he will have them out to his house. They will sit out by the pool. This is Kevin Nash's story, in case you not recognize it. And they start talking about it. But Vince wasn't talking about you put a boot on this guy, you put a 1, 2, 3 on this guy. He was talking about, hey, remember that crowd in Charlotte? And remember how you worked them up? And remember before we went to the Garden, how you worked those New York fans to get MSG? You were pulling people from Connecticut. I really like that. Hey, remember when we went out to Portland, but you had half the audience coming up from Seattle because of the stuff that you were doing with the Sonics? It's one of these things where that is what a promoter is going to be looking for. Very much. If you would like the job, this is your interview. How are you getting people interested? A big fight, okay? Now, a good fight can just have two guys with certain skill sets that go out there and make it a lot of fun to watch. That's a good fight. You can't run a business on good fights. You got to run a business on big fights. What makes a big fight? A good story. That's it. That's it. Pacquiao versus Mayweather made all sorts of money. That fight sucked. It was a big fight. It wasn't a good fight. It was a big fight. They made a ton of money. Why was it a big fight? Well, it took them 10 years to tell the story. They had everybody from Sugar Ray Leonard to Iron Mike Tyson coming out saying, this is the one we want. We had Roy Jones Jr. saying, man, this is the fight. This is the one the industry needs. It was one of these things. It was a back and forth. You got a southpaw. You got an orthodox. You got the Freddie Roach tie-in. Got old man Mayweather stepping in because Roger's not feeling so well. It was a story, guys. I just told you, how many things did I just rattle off about that fight? I don't even remember when that fight was. I mean, I really don't. I just told you a whole bunch of the who, what, when, why, and where about it. How can you do that for a fight? Been world title fights all the time. Tell me the who, what, when, where, and why on Paul Boontello versus Andre Arlovsky. Tell me, go ahead. It was a world title fight. Tell me the who, what, when, where, and why. Forrest Griffin versus Rampage Jackson. Go ahead. It was a world title fight. Come on, must have been a big deal. Randy Couture versus Chuck Liddell. Tell me the 5 W's. Right? Do you see the problem? So, if you're looking at this fight for your number one contender, you're going to be looking at what these two guys applying for the job do. Do they make good fights or do they make big fights? Do I need a good fight or do I need a big fight? Do I want a good fight or do I want a big fight? You're going to ask yourself these questions. So I'm going to tell you about this match. It's a great match. It's a really great match. Du Plessis is going to make you really interested in this match. Now, the biggest thing about this match is going to be the swerve that comes at the end. Whittaker wins. It's not the world's most compelling or competitive matchup, sadly. But that's where the story comes. Du Plessis is everything you want to give the elevation to. Whittaker is not. He's not going to build a fight with Du Plessis. He didn't build a fight with his last opponent, whoever that was. He didn't build a fight with his opponent before that, whoever that was. He's not going to build a fight with his next opponent. Is that the guy you want? Well, you got to ask yourself, do you want a good fight or do you want a big fight?